Good morning, everybody. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Please let me know if the audio is all good. In the Discord, please. Cool, thank you very much. Just double checking, just because I have so many things plugged in at the moment. But that should be good. Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday the 8th of July. Obviously, we had a short day on Friday last week, and that caused a couple of my indicators yesterday to be slightly off kilter on the ETH point of view. But I've kept my screen open, or should I say I've kept my screen drawings on to what I had yesterday, just to kind of show you what where we still are. And nothing has changed. I'm still bullish above these levels that I will show you in a second. And I would actually argue those levels have slightly lowered. And this is what I like to say about, I don't control where these levels are formed, right? Yesterday I was bullish above 23,000. We never got to 23,000, therefore I was never bullish, right? Today, those levels are actually changing, and this range, what I drew yesterday, is still the exact level in terms of where I'd be wanting to see longs above. And that level for me is pretty much going to be around, you can call it this area here, which, you know, I'm not using previous day RTH highs as that level, but isn't it nice how that lines up with the RTH highs? So, again, it's those highs from yesterday that I'd still want to see break and hold above to be able to go higher. So nothing has changed. But it just coincides real nicely because we've had a whole day yesterday to build that momentum. So if we do get above these highs at around, call it 980s, even down into 960s, 970s. So basically I want to be cautiously long around this zone here, right? And if you put the midpoint on there, it's pretty much yesterday's RTH highs, okay? And again, I don't choose where these levels line up to, but it just happens to be that it lines up with the previous day RTH highs, which is what you want to see for a long. But just to go back to yesterday's session, what did we do? Well, we came down perfectly to the RTH low. I mean, just incredible. This dotted white line here is the ATR low for the RTH session, and if we go back, you'll see we traded 99.99% of that range. Let's go down to the 5-minute time frame. It's not loading because I've gone back in time, but we traded 99% of that range on the RTH. This will open up, and we came down to that low, and that was the exact low on the day. Now, my bias was still flat on the day, and I haven't got a link on the Zoom just yet. I'll create that after the YouTube. The bias was still flat on the day for me, so I took no trades at all yesterday. The bias, I was wanting to see longs above. We never got it. So this is the same level that I would be wanting to see again today. So this is why I just project this out to here. Okay. And it's exactly the same. Nothing has changed. So in fact, you could probably draw that to around here. So again, yesterday's highs are going to be that break and hold above that you want to see to the long side. I literally do not care about anything else below that level. So I do not care if we are selling off. Doesn't bother me. I don't care if we're in micro longs. I do not want to be involved unless we are above pretty much yesterday's highs. Okay, and I will go out on a whim on saying everything else, but in my opinion, below that in terms of the long side just will be very tricky. So it's much easier to wait for that, and that is not the signal in and of itself. It's a confluence of multiple things that I'm looking at, but that just happens to be overnight highs and also Friday's highs. So yesterday's RTH highs. So that is going to be your absolute A+ trade, in my opinion, if we get it. And if we don't get it, hey, that is fine. I don't control, again, when levels trade. All I can do is trade them when they trade. So that will be the long for me if we do get it, and magnitude on the day will be into these highs up here. So we do have range on the day, which will take you to the average ATR, which is 145 points. And even if I get 70% of that range, that is still going to be a 80 plus trade, which is worth taking for me. So that will be the trade that I do take if it is going to formulate. That will be the trade that I take. That is also in confluence with the expected range on the day. The RTH range won't load until obviously the RTH opens. This is my RTH bias on the day, but it hasn't yet opened, so this is actually incorrect. It's not loaded. So once this loads, you'll be able to see this will change. That is pretty much all I have. Unless there's any questions, it's fairly straightforward, to be honest. I've tried to simplify so much to make it fairly easy to navigate. But if there's any questions, let me know. I think I broke down quite a bit yesterday, but again, daily, daily we're bullish, right? Bias is still bullish. Lower time frame, again, you know what the extensions are. Follow them until they break. All we did yesterday was pretty much come down into the same anchor new high. And I'll show you that extension. We came down to the 38. So you can see the draw that we had from last week, which is from the high of the overnight on the 24th of Jan. That is the extension that we're still in. And you can see it traded the 38. It traded the 38 and then ATR reversaled up out of that level, right? It traded it. It ATR'd into the level. It ATR'd out, reversal, halfway back, which trades. And we took some of us in the Discord this morning, took some overnight trades. And we went full 62 to negative 62. I mean, it doesn't get any more simpler than that, right? ATR reversal, ATR into a target, ATR reversal out of a target, market showing its hands. You get the retracement, discount longs, and you ride it up into those targets. So that was the only trade that I really took this morning, and it was in still sit on hands and caution levels from yesterday, but that was the only traditional, if you were going to take it, that I would have taken. And I didn't even take that. I waited for the high to high, which traded at 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. EST, which was about 6 o'clock UK time. So I took the high to high. I didn't even take that extension. I actually waited for it to complete. I then drew to the high at 2:30, which is 7:30 my time. And then I took that into the target, and it completed within an hour. So really, really technical. We had the 38 bid, with the 50 bid, and it completed the negative 23 with 55 points. So I took that on my other accounts, and that is all I've taken so far. So again, I will just keep the same bias as I've had from yesterday, and it will just be waiting to get above. Now, I wouldn't mind something like this on the open. I don't know if we're going to get it, but if we do, I think this is what you need in order to obviously get back above these levels, right? So this could take several hours to form, but once you do get above 23k, that is where I believe you end up trading 21,100, right? So it's the bigger picture thing. Ranges are still quite tight. If you look on the ATR for the average from yesterday, you can see here. What's interesting is we are actually trading, and I'm going to build an indicator that shows me the average over a period, the 10-day average, but over let's say 100 or 200 days. What I want to do is I want to see how much range is actually being traded in the overnight compared to the RTH. Because you can see today we traded 52% of the total range on the day. So therefore you've only really got about obviously just under half of that to trade on the RTH. So I think it's interesting because currently the RTH is 180 points, which is, there's not much range there. But you look at the ETH, the total is 313, and obviously trading half of that on the overnight, you still have 160 odd points on the RTH, which is why being 180 is still within range. So you can comfortably say 150 to 200 points on the RTH is expected, and on the ETH, you can obviously say how much is expected in terms of 150. So it's kind of pretty much average at the moment on both sides. But I am noticing the range on the RTH is on the ETH is slightly higher at the moment. So yeah, I just think we're getting more overnight moves, which again you can't exactly control when they're going to be. But if you can see, like you get on your pre-market, you get like SoFi, like obviously that's not in the NQ, but like you're getting a lot of moves. The whole move on Nvidia, for example, on the whole full session was pretty much erased on the pre-market. Like that's what I'm trying to say. So same as Meta, you know, it's Tesla. You know, where's Tesla? AMD, for example, 2.6, 2.2 down on AMD, and then you're at 1.70 on the pre-market. So it's like a lot of moves are happening overnight, which is why I'm paying attention to these ranges, because they will start to get bigger, and we may already be seeing that on the ETH. My new indicator doesn't show the ETH, so all you need to do, I don't even think I have created the new one, which I will upload everyone's username to, but it's actually very straightforward. If you just copy and paste it, you can then just change the time. So just change it from 9:30 to 6 p.m. and it will just change. It just won't be called ETH, it'll just be called RTH. But for now, you can just literally copy and paste this and just change this to 6 p.m. and it will show you the exact figures as what you'll see on the RTH Open. And then once I've got some spare time, I'll copy everyone's name into the new one. So this is the RTH one, which will show in, for me, it will show in white, which is the low from yesterday. So this is your RTH low from yesterday. Okay. That is the RTH low from yesterday. And we came within literally 1% of that, and we rallied 150 points. And again, this is, sorry, 110 points. This isn't lagging. This is what the low was all day. So we came down to that level, then reacted, right? And again, that is a ATR into that level, which is also the 38% retracement from the higher time frame, the high to high. So again, RTH ATR low, same anchor new high 38 support, ATR into that level. The only thing that you didn't have is but my bias wasn't bullish in terms of the daily point of view, in terms of the intraday action. My bias is technically bullish on a macro point of view, but the bias that I've created on this indicator was still flat/short, so I wasn't doing anything. When we open today, I will obviously see what that is, but on the overnight session, we are still technically flat. Things will start to change once you get above yesterday's high. So again, that is why we're only like 30 points away. Give it 20, 30 points and bias will potentially change bullish, but the RTH is going to be that determining factor. So once we go on Zoom in a second, let me put my other screens on. Once we go on Zoom in a second, we will obviously break it all down. So for everyone that's on YouTube, click the link in the description below. You can get a 7-day free trial if you haven't already, and I will create a Zoom link now for all you guys, and I will see you on Zoom in a second. So just give me 2 or 3 minutes and I'll create a link.